Howdy all, this is Shane, and I thought today was a good time for me to show you guys what guitars I actually have and what I've kept. I've used many guitars in all of my demos over the years, but a lot of them have gone, and I've pretty much just kept it simple now. I don't have 9 or 10 electric guitars anymore. I don't have my acoustic, so I'm going to show you what I have got and what I like about them. So this is a 1952 Telecaster. It's a reissue by Fender, and it has an awesome maple neck and a nice thick neck, and unfortunately it doesn't have jumbo frets. It is pretty much made to the specs of guitars in the old days, and there's one thing I have changed, which is the pickups. I get a lot of questions about these. People want to know what they are. They are Joe Barden, Danny Gatton pickups. They are noiseless, they don't buzz at all, and they still have pretty much the entire range of frequency sound that you'd get from single coils, but without any of that buzz, and they just don't get interference like what you're used to with a Telecaster. They sound miles better than any of the Fender brand noiseless pickups. So if you're a Tele player and you do like the sound of these pickups that you've heard, you know, me use, they're a good choice, or go for the D. Allen pickups, which are also awesome. This guitar pretty much has got some wear and tear on it now. I've played it to death, and I've only had it a few years, but as you can see, there's a big black spot right here, and there's also, it's all black around the edge here. That doesn't come off. I've actually worn through the varnish, so that's where my arm and my hand would sit a lot when I play. And yeah, it's basically just been used a lot. I take care of my guitars, but I'm not overly fussy with them. But this is my 1952 Reissued Telecaster, and I absolutely love this thing. I purchased it in San Francisco, California, a couple of years ago, and it's been my main axe since. Should also note it also has these vintage style tuners, which took me some getting used to. There's a video I made on how to tune these little suckers too, so check that out on my channel. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite guitars of all time. It's a Gibson Les Paul. It's a studio model, and it's based off the 1950s style Les Paul with awesome inlays. Check out those inlays. It's got a rosewood fretboard, and it's a gold top with P90 pickups, and these P90s are the real deal. They don't buzz a whole lot, surprisingly, which is something that I really love, but man, they sound good. They sound like fat single coils. They don't really sound like a humbucker, which is probably why I enjoy this guitar so much. It just sounds fat and full, and if you're a fan of these guitars, you probably know of Sean Costello. You should check him out on YouTube. Unfortunately, he's no longer alive, but he uses one of these and just pulls a great tone, and a nice simple Fender amplifier. And I've been looking for one of these for quite some time, and I did find one, which I believe is this one, a couple of years ago, about a year ago now, in a guitar shop, and it was new, and then there were no more, being left-handed. I think I found the only one that was around in a second-hand shop not long ago. So surprisingly, this is great to play. There's nothing wrong with the action or frets or difference in the neck or anything. I don't really feel that is a problem anymore. So you can pick up either of these two guitars, this or the Tele, and they just play great. This is my Stratocaster. It's actually a 50th anniversary Deluxe Strat, and as you can see from the headstock, it has gold Schaller locking tuners, which is pretty cool. I reckon these things are the best invention ever. People whinge about them being heavy. I don't really get it. I mean, how much heavier can they be? I don't really understand that logic, but yeah, they're really cool. So if you don't know what these are, you just put the string through the peg and tie a little thing up at the back, and you're done. You don't have to keep winding it around. They're really cool. So it's got a maple neck. The neck on this guitar is a little small, and it was always like that. I used to like smaller necks, but after hearing the difference between a thin neck guitar and a fat neck guitar, then I was sold. The Telecaster I have just seems all that more toneful than this, and I don't know if it's just because it's got more wood in general or whether or not it's something else, but I believe the neck really does help the tone of guitar. And if you're wondering what the hell these pickups are, they're D. Allen, Johnny Highland, custom signature model pickups coming out of the US. These things are awesome. I really should have got them to match the volume control over there, but I ordered the wrong color, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, the pick guard's white, so anyway, who cares? But they sound awesome. Like the Bardens, they're noiseless, except they've got an awesome array of sound. Like they got a full Strat sound with no buzz. Unlike the Fender pickups, I can't reiterate that enough. Don't get Fender noiseless. The hot noiseless are about the best ones they make, but all those new ones and all the SC noiseless, which were in this to start with, I actually took them out and put these in, and there was a huge difference. So, well, Rick, my friend Rick did it, so thanks for that, mate. And yeah, it's got the gold trim here, which I've actually locked down because I don't ever use that whammy bar. Pretty cool guitar. It's basically modeled after the very early Strats, just with a lot of modern extras. And a little badge there as well, and that's also printed inside the hard case. You can see some of my screws have gone black. That's because of they've corroded over the years, but they're the pickups. They look like every other kind of blade pickup like this, or whatever you want to call them, but these ones in particular sound great. There we go, you can see the inlays look very, very nice. These jumbo frets have worn down, so I actually need to take this in and get my frets redone on this, as well as my Telecaster, which you just saw. So it's going to be a little bit of an expensive exercise, but I'm going to try that. They're my picks, by the way. 1mm Jim Dunlops. And there we go. Beautiful. Alright, this is my Tokai Love Rock guitar, which is basically a Les Paul copy. This is made in Korea in the early 2000s, and it features a rosewood neck with some really cool inlays. Check out these inlays. They're very, very nice. I like them. It's got pretty similar frets to my Gold Top, from what I can tell, except the action on this is set really low. It's one thing I want to fix at some stage, but yeah, we'll get there eventually. I found this at a second-hand shop in Melbourne, Australia, and it has just been great. Like, if I ever need that Les Paul sound, I've got it. And it might not be a Gibson, but this thing sounds great. It feels awesome to play, and it's got all the nice things that you want to look for. Got these classic style volume and tone controls, vintage style pickups. They're humbuckers, but they're a vintage style. And yeah, it's great. There's your typical rhythm switch right here. Rhythm and treble pickup selection. It's very, very nice. It's a high gloss, unlike the Gibson. And there's only one little issue with it right now. It's the fact that one of these tuning pegs is bent, and I actually think it's this one up here, but we can't really see that because it's behind there. But yeah, that's the Tokai Love Rock. So if you see these guitars around, they're either made in Japan, Korea, or China. If you can get either the Japanese or the Korean ones, they're the way to go. I'm not dismissing the Chinese ones because I haven't played them, but I know for a fact these are great. So if you're into Les Pauls or 335s and you don't want to buy a Gibson, Tokai pretty much models some of the 50s and 60s style electric guitars, and they make great imitations. So check them out. This is my G&L ASAT Classic Telecaster, made in the USA. I picked this up in Florida, and I know a lot of people don't like the headstock on these things, but when you're playing them and you feel how good they are in your hand and how good they sound, the headstock's the least of my concerns. I've got to say, I think the finish on this is superior to my Fender, and this is up there with like a custom shop Fender, and this is their sort of American entry-level guitar. It's a real killer. It has really nice inlays as well. And for anybody who's picked up a rifle that's the kind of finish you get on the neck. It's amazing. The back is just, the back of this neck is beautiful. It's got 2 stock G&L pickups. Middle position on the selection switch is both pickups, and it actually cancels any hum, which is awesome. It's got a really cool bridge section here. It's a color that I don't know the exact name of, but it looks very much like a Lake Placid blue. It's kind of got a bit of a sparkle in there as well. And these are great guitars. They're really well made. They sound awesome. And for the Fender snobs out there, check out these guitars. Don't dismiss them like I did for many years. Just go play one and then see what you think. These are really, really good. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about them. They also have these vintage style tuners as well. So that's the ASAT Classic. That's all my guitars. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks all. See ya.